So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another session for our SAT test prep series. So, by far, you must have understood what exactly SAT and ACT is. Got a comprehensive idea about it individually. But let us try to compare both these exams and try to understand which exam would suit you the best. So here I welcome again Abhinav Garg sir to give us more idea about this particular thing, and let us try to understand which would be the best exam for you.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So from whatever we have learned so far, I think this is the session that's going to be the most critical, right? So listen on very carefully, listen on very patiently, take notes wherever you have to, and then we'll have a longish question answer session towards the end if needed, right? So what I'm going to do now, we had one session, we talked about the SAT. We had one session, we talked about the ACT, basically the mechanical details. Now we're going to take a look at under the carpet look, right? So it's going to be beneath what the eyesight gets to see as to what's different, why these two tests are so similar yet so different. And then I'm going to give you a format, a formula, a method to choose what is the correct test for you. I see so many students who will blindly start, oh, I want to do the SAT because my classmates are doing SAT, my friends are doing SAT. I've come through so many myths. I'm a PCM student, so I should be doing the SAT. Incorrect. I go to an IB school, so SAT is meant for me. Incorrect. Please do not make all those mistakes. It could cost you very dear. It could cost you 6 months of your time, and then which would become very, very difficult to make up for later on. So listen very carefully, shut your eyes and do what I tell you to. So we'll begin with developing an in-depth understanding of both these tests, especially how they are different beyond the fact that they're scored differently, they're timed differently, and all those things. Okay, so here we go. So let me open up my whiteboard and draw two columns here. Sorry, some issue. Okay, I think we're good to go now. So, okay. So I have the SAT here and I have the ACT here. SAT has reading, writing and composition, and math. I'll not be taking the essay into consideration for the sake of this discussion. A moment, please. Okay. The ACT has English, it has math, it has reading, and it has science. We've talked about science already, and we would not again consider science for the differentials here because it's not on the SAT. But just to reiterate, the science test out here is not a test on science. It's a test of data comprehension, which is set in an environment of science. In order to be able to do well on the science section of the ACT, it is not mandatory that you should have taken sciences in grade 11. I repeat, irrespective of what subjects you have done, are doing in grade 11, grade 12, if you had all three sciences until grade 10, then you're qualified enough, you're fit enough to take the ACT. You don't have to rule out this test for you. Okay, now let's start with what is similar. The writing section on the SAT and the English section on the ACT are nearly identical. Just that the writing section here may be on the SAT may be 10% harder than what it is on the ACT. No, if I want to compare these two tests from a telescope, from a distance as to what is the difference between these two, the SAT is a test of logic and comprehension. It has a very small subject matter, not a huge syllabus. But the questions here can tend to be a bit complicated at times. ACT, on the other hand, is a very flat test, as in they'll not try to entangle you in the way they frame the questions. But you have less time here. So you need to have very good speed for the ACT. I mean, you have to be a very good reader for the ACT. That's extremely important. So whether you're good at writing or English or you're bad at writing or English cannot be a discriminator between the two tests. So that cannot help me decide whether I go take the SAT, I go take the ACT. So when you take a diagnostic, either you'll do well on both of them on the English writing section or not well on both of them in the English writing section. So that doesn't help me. Let's then move on to math. We have plenty full of differences here, plenty full of differences. Right, so I think let me open up another sheet here to help you with that. So on one side, let me draw SAT math, and the other side, let me draw ACT math. First thing, SAT math has two math sections. One with the calculator, the other without the calculator. On the ACT, we have only one math section, and that is with the calculator. The SAT math has a narrow scope. The ACT math has a pretty wide scope. As we discussed earlier, lots of geometry. SAT has a very limited geometry dose. ACT has a huge geometry dose. Also, ACT is going to be closer to what you study in grade 11 at school. So you're going to have some trigonometry, some permutation combinations, some complex numbers, a bit of higher math, some ellipses at times, equation of circle. Lots of these questions, permutation combination also, probability questions, statistics, you'll find them frequently featuring on the ACT. But that said, ACT is usually simple questions. On the SAT, some questions can be complicated. How do I decide on the basis of this, on the basis of math section? There's one more huge difference here. The SAT math is 50% of my total score. On the ACT, math is just 25% of total score. And this could really wane when you go out and make these choices. Those of you who are extremely good with math, but the speed isn't that good, the choice will become what? SAT, because 50% of my syllabus is sorted. But I'm not saying you're good with math. I'm saying you're extremely good with math. And we have quite a few of that variety in this country. So understood, this is the basic difference, which is what we'll keep into consideration after we have done both the diagnostics, then only answer these things. Let me go back. The greatest amount of difference on the two sections, on the two tests, would happen on reading. The SAT reading is a difficult test. You will have pretty hard questions here. You'll have a lot of inference-based questions which require you to read between the lines. ACT is usually pretty direct questions. In fact, those of you doing the IGCSE, IB, the ACT reading section would be no more difficult than what your grade 10 reading comprehensions are. It's a fairly straightforward test. The answers to most of the questions are directly given in the passage. But for the SAT, the answers to most of these questions are not given in the passage. You have to read the passage, you have to process, you have to align yourself with the author, and then come up with the answer. Also, at times, 2 of the 4 options can be extremely confusing on the SAT, which would normally not be the case on ACT. We're talking not absolutes, we're talking relatives here as to what applies to most of this test. But this is 40 questions in 35 minutes. And this is 52 questions in 65 minutes. You've got considerably more time on the SAT. And the primary challenge on the ACT always is going to be time. So before you jump into the 2 of them, you should always make sure that you do a diagnostic and figure out. Yes, I can tell you one thing. When students do diagnostic tests, I've seen most of you doing those diagnostic tests in the comfort of your home, which are self-invigilated and without any respect for the clock. And a diagnostic done under these circumstances carries no meaning at all. Please do not do it that way. A diagnostic test, whenever taken, has to be externally invigilated. Right? All of those who will be applying for a prep scholarship with the Next Genius will be made to do both these tests under our supervision. Apart from that, Saturn Paper offers free scholarship tests. You can approach us at any point in time whenever you want to do a diagnostic test, no problem at all. These diagnostic tests are authentic, they carry meaning, and they'll give you the clear picture. Because if I gave any student XYZ unlimited amount of time over both the tests, it is imperative that he or she is going to choose the ACT and not the SAT. Because the questions there are simpler. They're more straightforwardly worded. You don't have to make much of an effort to answer them. The challenge there is time. So make sure that you do the diagnostic test in the right kind of environment and not on your own. I'm repeating that for the nth time for your benefit. I mean, great zealots like you, grade 9, grade 10, raring to go for the standardized test, the SAT or the ACT, start doing a lot of things on your own, unsupervised, uninvigilated. Please, for God's sake, don't do it. That's going in the wrong direction. So going back to our screen now. This is the math comparison, and then that's my simple comparison. So reading on the SAT is pretty hard, on the ACT is simple, provided you are a good speed reader. Math on the SAT, limited syllabi, on the ACT, larger syllabus, wider scope, but ACT is simple questions. SAT can be slightly complicated questions. ACT, you can use a calculator throughout. SAT has one non-calculator section that you must endure. Also, SAT is 50% of your total test weightage. ACT math is only 25%. Reading is 25% both for SAT as well as ACT. Writing and English is 25% for both SAT as well as ACT. In addition, on the ACT, we have a science section that contributes to my total score. You have an optional essay on both of them, which I do not think is going to be a decision variable. So I've kept it out of my discussion as of now. Now comes the big question. Which test do I take and why? So let me erase this. Always start with a diagnostic. Never start with a preconceived notion. The students the other day, I want to do an SAT only. Everybody is doing the SAT. Even my sister did the SAT. This is the worst of all arguments. I'll just give you one case study. We had a student from Delhi approached us very late. So he came to us only towards the middle of September, end of September, in fact. I want to do ACT because my brother did an ACT and he went to Columbia. Excellent, most welcome. We'll be happy to work with you. We started working with the ACT. In the first class on science, we discovered that he has not studied any chemistry or any biology in his grade 10 and grade 9. That's a disaster. I picked up the phone, talked to his parents, scheduled a Zoom call, shifted him to SAT. Against the student's wishes, he was not willing to take it. I said, okay, let's do a diagnostic. When we did the diagnostic, we figured out that his raw score means without any preparation, his raw score on the SAT was higher than his prepared score on the ACT. Now, such a situation could have been avoided by taking these diagnostics up early. So for God's sake, always start a diagnostic. If you do not know where to do this diagnostic, please visit www.saturnpaper and schedule a call. We'll be more than happy to schedule a diagnostic test. In any case, anyone who's applying for the Next Genius Test Prep scholarships would be made to do these diagnostics under our supervision, something which we're going to talk about at length in the next session that we have at 5 o'clock. We have got scholarships over 25 lakh rupees to be won in terms of the test prep. And let me reiterate, Saturn Paper is the leading training institute in India, where 101 of our students have scored a 99 percentile on the SAT or the ACT in 2020 alone. We'll be sharing the details shortly on our website. Okay. All right, so start with the diagnostic always. If your SAT score, wait. Get a concordance table. If you Google SAT, ACT concordance table, you'll be able to find it easily. It is available on the website of the SAT as well as the ACT. With the help of this table, you can interconvert one of the scores into the other. So an SAT score, what the equivalent ACT score would be, and an ACT score, what the equivalent SAT score would be, you'll be able to find out. Right. Now, before you go into this concordance table and compare your scores, you have to perform 3 simple checks. First, if you're not planning to study math in grade, even if you're currently in grade 10, I need to check, are you planning to study math in grade 11 or not? If you are not planning to study math in grade 11, please do not touch the ACT. Stick with the SAT. Do you have missing sciences in grade 9 and 10? If your missing science is a chem or biology, no ACT. If your missing science is a physics, you can still consider the ACT. You may need to study physics for a day or two. I think that's about it. But if you have not studied a chemistry or a biology beyond grade 8, please drop the ACT here and now. And third, sorry, so sorry. ACT reading score should be at max -2 of composite. I'll elaborate. So this would come into place only when your SAT and ACT reading scores are closer, the total scores are closer. You want to take a decision between the two of them. Look at the ACT reading score, because ACT reading score is the score that would improve the least. Reason being, that's a score governed only by your reading speed, and your reading speed in the short run is not going to move up. The test has got no challenge on it. It's just the speed that they're looking for. So if I'm scoring a 25 composite, but my reading score is 23, all right. I'm scoring a 25 composite, but my reading score is a 19. Stay clear of the ACT, please. Right? Stay clear of the ACT, stick to the SAT. SAT reading is hard, but when you practice for it, when you work towards it, that score is going to improve. ACT reading is simple, but it will kind of improve marginally, not substantially. I've not seen students who started with a 19 on the ACT reading and moved up to a 30. It doesn't happen. You're starting with a 19, you reach a 24, 25, 26, feel happy. That's the scope over there. SAT, yes, it might improve further also. If you are a conscientious reader, you learn from your mistakes, you can figure out a pattern in questions, that will be much better. Math is about practice on both of them. But yes, if you've not studied math at higher level, if you've dropped math beyond grade 10, first thing it tells me that you had no love for math. That's why you dropped it. And then you're going to have life difficult for you. Let science not be the decision-making variable. Sciences only check. If I have not studied sciences in grade 9, grade 10, drop the ACT. If you have comparable scores on both these and the reading scores are favorable, always prefer the ACT. ACT is a more reliable test. ACT has got less of test day deviation in terms the variation of difficulty level on the actual test day is less. The ACT is less daunting an exam as compared to the SAT. So you'll have greater instances of students giving into test day pressure in case of SAT vis-a-vis the ACT. Another difference is, if I allude to cricket here, ACT is like a T20 game. SAT is like a one-day international. What is the difference between these two? A one-day international cricket game, even if my over number 6 to 10, I did not play very well, you still have time to get back into the game, establish your innings and start hitting. On a T20 game, if over number 6 to 10 did not go well, I think you're finished. Look at the next game only. You can't really come back into the same game, right? So do the diagnostics with us. We'll be very happy to share an individual feedback with each one of you over email as to what is the recommended test for you and why, and when should you be taking that particular test. Of course, we'll make further announcements in the next session. Next session, we'll also talk to you about the courses that we offer at Satin Paper and what kind of scholarships you can get over there. What are the features of our program? And the service where we make you do a scholarship test or a diagnostic test and give you individual feedback is absolutely free of cost for everyone. We even in practice, we never charge for that. So that's completely okay. So it was bound to be a shorter session. I think I'm through with what we had to say. I would look forward to a longer question answer scheduled today. I think we can start with it. And guys, please feel
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Got really much more clarity between the SAT and ACT exams. Really enjoyed the detailed comparison between these
Thank
two.
you.
I guess the dilemma for the students, which exam suits them the best, must be much more clearer by now. I would
Thank
like
you.
to just go through, make you go through some questions, sir. So,
Somebody has asked for my email ID. Let me share that meanwhile.
yes, sir.
Abhinav.garg at thephoenixedu.com. I have one more in case you wish to use. This is the simplest one. ABHGRG, only 6 letters at gmail.com. I hope everybody has taken it down, all those who need it.
Yes, sir.
I can get back to questions, please, now. Yes, please go ahead.
So, is SAT maths easier than JE maths, or like is it
It's
equivalent to?
different. It's different. You can't compare the two.
Okay.
JE math, SAT math is more, more observation driven, more interpretation driven. JE math is hard math. That's hardcore math, pure math. SAT math is not pure math. It's a very light test, but that doesn't mean that everybody is going to score full hair. In fact, I've seen some of the people who are very good with their JE math would tend to falter with the SAT math. You'll have to prepare for it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Uh, sir, do you prefer SAT subject tests or an AP exam?
It's for your counselor to advise. Both of them serve very different purposes. So this month, we have a prep festival on SAT and ACT. Next month, we're going to talk about the AP exams. And the month after that, we're going to talk about the subject SATs. Stay tuned. You'll get to know a lot.
Okay. Uh, just a minute, sir.
One question, which is easy, SAT or the ACT? If you have the speed, ACT any day is an easier test.
Okay. So where do extracurricular activities count more, SCT or ACT?
Both. It doesn't make a difference. That's a part of the admission process.
Okay. When is the perfect time to take diagnostic test for IB student?
For any student, you should take it when you're in grade 10, no later than that.
Okay. Okay, this has been answered. So
Where can I find the list of allowed calculator? Google it. They're available on both websites.
Yeah.
One relevant question. Are there subject tests in ACT? No, they are not. But when you take the ACT, if you have to take the subject tests, you'll take the SAT subject tests only. So that's what a lot of students do. Choice here is ACT or SAT, one of them. And then you go ahead and take the SAT subject tests.
Okay. Do you need to take IELTS or TOEFL even before giving SAT or ACT?
No. IELTS and TOEFL you should take as late as possible, because those scores are valid for 2 years only, unlike the SAT or ACT score, which are valid for 5 years. Also, IELTS and TOEFL is a very, very simple test. I mean, so take it when you enter your grade 12.
Okay. I am an average student in maths but excellent in science. Which one shall I prefer, ACT or ACT?
Do the diagnostics and decide.
Okay. Okay. Are there any negative markings in ACT? I guess.
No, neither in the ACT nor in the SAT.
Do SAT and ACT have different worldwide recognition? Like, is ACT?
No, the two tests, I hope you heard, ma'am, in the previous session, the two of them are completely equivalent.
Okay.
One says ACT doesn't have minus marking. How can you have not -2? Meaning 2 marks lower than your average score. That's the maximum you should have.
Okay. Sir, I am in grade 11. Can I take the diagnostic test at Saturn paper now?
Yes, you can take. Just wait for the next session. We'll announce where you can take it. If you want to take it before that, you can always contact us.
Okay. So I guess
Are we done? Let me just see if
So,
diagnostic tests are all online. They're on our platform. If I drop math, I shouldn't take. If you drop math, you can still take the SAT. That's not an issue. That's not a problem at all. I've given you my Gmail as well as my email, so you can always write to me whenever you feel like.
yes.
Any individual questions relating to your specific case, you have to shoot me over the mail. I'll be able to respond to them in the next 48 hours or so.
So there is one last question I would like to take. What might be the scene for the universities requiring of ACT and ACT scores in 2022, keeping in mind the COVID situation?
See, even if the tests universities are optional, it doesn't help the international students. International students, you want to get in, you'll have to take the test. The ED admits have just come out, and I can't see practically any student who would have gotten without a test through the test optional route. So again, more. I mean, there have been so many webinars. When you Google on the Next Genius website, also you'll find multiple webinars that address this specific issue.
Okay. Okay, so I guess most of the questions are been answered. Sir has also provided you his own two of the emails, so you can, if in case you are yet with your questions haven't been answered, you can mail him on that email ID, and I am sure that they'll be answered very much quickly. So thank you once again, Abhinav sir, to give us a good detailed comparison.
Thank you so much, and see you all again at 5 o'clock, where we'll be announcing the Next Genius Saturn Paper Test Prep Scholarships.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. See you back.